When I recorded this last night, I wasn't so sure if I was okay with the recording. And so today I had some more of the aha moments that I wanted to add to this episode. Now, I know this episode will be out after another episode that I'm doing with a friend. So I'm pretty excited for everybody to hear this, and we'll get a little bit brutal about this. And so, why don't we go ahead and talk about the next type of love? Yes, being obsessed with somebody is still is a type of love. Let's talk about mania. My name is Lee, and this is the Decapitated Thoughts. Okay. I really can't work without an outline, so I did write down a few things that I would want to make or I would want to talk about this particular episode. I'm so sorry. I just can't. And I think at this part of this episode that I have to have some kind of outline because outlines makes my life a lot easier. Let's talk about obsessive love. So the Greeks recognize that it is love and we call it mania. And we put mania in everything that sends us into a heightened excitement that's bordering being psychotic, right? So anything that we associate with mania would be somewhere along those lines. But mania is mainly obsessive love. Now, when I started taking a look at this particular topic, I asked myself if mania is the same as addiction, if those two are the same. Well, they may look like, from a certain standpoint, they may look like the same. And so, what I would like us to do today, stranger, is to take a look at addiction and mania, or addiction and obsession, in two different ways. Addiction would tell you that I can't go on the night without having to drink. Any alcohol would do. I just have to have that taste of alcohol in my mouth because I love alcohol. Obsession tells you that this alcohol wouldn't taste good if I did not have 2 cubes of ice in it. Whatever this alcohol is, it won't taste good if there's no 2 cubes of ice in it. Addiction tells you I have to have more dresses to be pretty. If I fill up my closet with a lot more dresses, I will be pretty. Obsession tells you if I don't wear yellow on a Monday, I wouldn't look pretty. I have to have yellow dresses for every Monday for the rest of my life because that's how I look pretty. Addiction tells you I'll feel lost if he or she is not with me. My life ends there because he or she is not with me, because he or she broke up with me, because he or she left me. I feel lost. An obsession would tell you I may have lost her, him, but no one is ever going to be good enough for him or her but me. I don't care if I lost him or her. I just know that there's no one on this earth that would be good enough for him or her. That's the line that separates obsession with addiction. Obsession is more of a ritual, and addiction is more of a craving. Well, actually, they're both across a certain kind of craving, but obsession is a craving with some kind of ritual in it. And if that ritual is broken, the whole world is broken. So I don't know if it sounds familiar to you. If you had been in these situations, were you obsessed with love or with someone? Were you addicted with love or with someone? See, in addiction, there's a certain kind of high that you get in your brain when you, say, drink alcohol or buy new dresses or be out with this person. But in obsession, it's more of satisfying a condition that if you wear the same dress for the rest of your life, you'd be pretty, or that if you drink your alcohol with 2 cubes of ice, it would taste good no matter what the alcohol is, or if you will be with this person for the rest of your life, she or he would be happy and you would be happy as well. And you don't really care about all the other things that would be part of that. That is obsession. And it can be, both can be applied to any part of our lives. And at one point, we had been either the person who was addicted or obsessed, or we were the person, or we were on the receiving end of that. Now, let me just get this out of the way. There is such a thing as an obsessive love disorder. So, that is something that you are a psychologist, you're a psychiatrist, and maybe some neuros would be able to diagnose and would be able to tell you that you need help, you need therapy, you need something else. But think about this, there are little things that we do that would lead to obsession more than we think, no matter how healthy our mental state is. We just really do these little things that would fall under obsessive love. Obsession really starts out with good intention. It starts out with love. And then later on, it spirals down to an understanding that nobody else can do it but you. No one else can be, both of you in this relationship is irreplaceable. And the sad thing really is, sometimes it's not even replaceable. I mean, sometimes you're not even in a relationship and you think that one of you is not replaceable. So I remember that Dr. Reed episode from Criminal Minds where he started corresponding with this girl who had a stalker, and she was every single day very much afraid. Somehow the story is very much like the girl is also stalking Dr. Reed. They sort of met once in the story, and then, it's so sad. The girl gets killed. But he found out who was stalking the girl. You could try to look for that. I can't really remember which season or episode was that, but I only remember that my favorite quote of all time would be from that particular scene. And I remember how scared the girl is whenever she receives these call from the caller, and how the caller thinks that he is sort of protecting her from harm by watching her from afar. That's not the only time that I can recall people are becoming too obsessive. In real life, celebrities die. Not just actors and actresses, any type of celebrity that is, die because of these circumstances, because of people believing that nobody's good enough for that particular artist. I can't remember which country this happened, but I just know it's a boy band and a girl band and their fans. And I remember my sisters telling me how crazy fangirls can be when we were at the height of our fangirling. I fangirled mostly for with Japanese rock bands and, well, Backstreet Boys. I remember my sister telling me about this story, but I just didn't have the time to really look it up. But there was this member of a boy band. He has a girlfriend, which is also a member of a girl band. The girl band went on to a concert, and some crazy fangirl of the boy band, particularly of that member who had a girlfriend, went up to the stage, I think, when they were rehearsing or something like that. When she had the chance, she replaced the yogurt drink that the girl band member was drinking from with a water with glue. I don't know if she ever got caught, but yeah. And we look at it as crazy fangirling, but we have to give that a name. That is an obsessive behavior. That is an obsessive love. I'm gonna poison you because I think you're no good for for the target of my affection. That's it. That's where it was coming from. She honestly believes that this girl was no good for the guy that he or that she rather that she was fangirling about. An obsession can be really crazy and it can really be scary, especially if you're on the receiving part of that. I don't honestly really know if after that they broke up or she feared for her life or anything like that. Obsession can lead to a lot of weird things happening. Now, these are on a high level scale. I mean, um, we're not in a TV series, and for sure most of us aren't crazy fangirls. But in real life, can you actually think of how many times that you were really, really obsessing about the other person? And mind you, obsessive love does not only happen within romantic partnerships. Obsessive love can be something in between a parent and a child, or can be in between siblings, or it can even be friends. Obsessive love happens in a lot of different ways. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this before Eros is because obsessive love or mania is really the darker side of love when you care too much. I've been learning so much about life with my plants. And one thing that I've learned from them is you love them too much, they die. You love them a little, they die. You overwater them, they die. You underwater them, they die. But they do suffer different deaths, right? If I would underwater them, they would suffer a crispy kind of death. And if I overwater them, they all become mushy, soft, and almost a thing that you can't hold with your hand. It's just really going to be slippery. It's going to slip with your hand. Yeah. And pretty much like, when you're in a relationship with anyone, in any kind of relationship, that is, you overwater, they become crispy, become ash, gone with the wind, you know, you overwater, they stay with you, they slowly slip away until their brains are mush and they can't understand why you're doing what you're doing. They will try, but they won't be able to understand why you're doing what you're doing. And most of the time, when we switch from being normal to being an obsessive person in a relationship or in a pseudo relationship, we blur the lines between jealousy, overthinking, and obsession. As I was thinking about this topic, I remembered something that made me want to search about it. And maybe I was really searching about the wrong article to put in here. So I was searching where obsession happens in the brain, when does it happen. But I realized that what I really wanted to search about is how the brain fills in information. And as I was reading up on it, it was whatever I saw there, whatever I read, whatever I remembered, it was pretty amazing. When this obsession gets triggered when you start overthinking anything until you actually solve it. But this is the fun thing. Your brain actually helps you solve these things by filling in information from past behaviors that you already know, from past patterns that you already have seen. And all of these are not happening consciously, they're being formed subconsciously and being transferred to your conscious mind as a fact. So that made me remember Helen Keller. Can't remember her exact quote, but it's something like, um, one can only see with the heart rightly. It's a quote that the Little Prince also shared, that it is only with the heart that you can see. And I never saw those quotes as being scientific. Actually, when I came across those quotes, I tagged them as cheesy. But as I went through the articles, this is what I realized. Of course, Helen Keller's blind. She only relies, or I won't say only, she relies on her other senses than her eyes. I found out that your brain trusts your eyes the most. So when they tell you that to see is to believe, most of the time, that is actually correct. Because once your eyes see something, your brain would perceive it as true, as real, because your eyes have seen it. And that's scientific. From what I understood from the articles is our brain are almost hardwired to that. So of course, when you're blind, you never had eyes. If you were born blind, you never had eyes. So at an early age, you rely on other senses. Now, the brain fills in information, and think about those amputees who would be experiencing a phantom limb experience, like feeling that they still have the limb right there. That's because all of their lives before that time that it got cut off, they knew that they had a hand, their eyes saw that they had a hand, and so their brain had just filled in that information that even without the hand, they would still feel that they have that hand because the brain had seen it through the eyes. It's a hard coded information in the brain. And so they would have that experience. I was reading through that, and I was also reading at when we start spiraling to being obsessive. It actually made sense that it's only with the heart that you can feel, or with the other senses that you can truly feel what you feel for the other person. Most of the time, we don't trust the other senses when it comes to the person that we are in a relationship with, because we're starting to obsess with the idea of a past behavior, may it be their behavior or some other behavior that we have experienced before. Think about this. Um, what makes you overthink? What makes you overthink the most? I think for most girls, they overthink when you wait. I think it's for everyone. So If this person would always text you quickly, they would always respond quickly, and one day they stop responding altogether, you would now start thinking about it. Start thinking. If this person does not give you an explanation of their action for that day, let's say the next day, still no text, third day, still no text, your brain would start filling in information now from previous experiences that you have had, wherein people would suddenly stop texting you. Oh, maybe he found another person. Oh, maybe he's in a date. Oh, maybe he doesn't have time for me because he has time for other girls. Your brain would just fill that in because your eyes never saw an actual explanation from this person, right? And what's weird is, even if your ears told you that he never told you anything, so stop worrying, still not. Because your eyes would still be looking for that because he used to text you all the time. And now that it has suddenly stopped, your brain fills in the information. And instead of a phantom limb experience, when in a relationship, it doesn't, it wouldn't be like that. It would be an experience of obsession. So the moment that your brain fills in that information is the moment you start overthinking. Was it something that I said? Was it something that I did? Oh, I knew all along he was just like that. Oh, I felt it like this and like that. Without really considering that there might be an actual explanation behind it. And then you start barraging them with text messages. You would start calling them endlessly. And at night, you would feel alone 3 a.m. and you would start hating on yourself. Oh, I know that very well because it is my experience, my friend's experience, a cousin's experience. We all go through that at a certain point in our lives. Whether we talk about it or not, whether we are ready to admit it or not, we go through it. But that's the sad part. Not all of us are ready to admit that at one point we had experienced obsessive love, that we've been obsessed with certain people in our lives that we can't let go because we're still thinking that nobody else is going to be good enough for them but us. Nobody else can love them but us. Or maybe the obsession is coming from a different place because no one else would be good enough for us. Or maybe no one's gonna love us the way that they did. Either way, it's obsession. Your overthinking leads to that. Jealousy leads to that. And maybe want to admit it or not, that is obsession. The good thing is, we have the option to say stop and end it right there. The moment that we spiral down to that rabbit hole, we can actually tell ourselves not to. Now that we have given it a name and now that we understand better what's happening, we can stop it. Now, what if you're on the receiving end of this obsession? It would start out as something good, something flattering, like all the attention that this person would give you, all the affection. And then, later on, it would get creepy. Um, they would be so hard to remove from our system, and it can also make you feel unsafe. Now, you could be staying for two things. Number one, you truly love the person and you want that person to change. But you being there wouldn't really help. So you just being there, that's what I mean. You could ask help for this person, or two, you enjoy it and you also sort of enjoy their misery because it's a good feeling that somebody needs you, that somebody wants you the way that they do. Well, let me tell you, if that's your reason, you are a jerk. You better stand up and leave. You don't want to be triggering anything with this person because you wouldn't know if this person would later on develop obsessive love disorder. And you know what's funny? If they develop that and people would point at you, oh, you would say that they're pretending to be a victim. You would be all defensive and you would start to hate this person more. But you paved the way for that. I'm not saying you're the sole reason. There could be a lot of other reasons for that person's mental instability. But you helped that mental stability to be more stable in their brains. So if you're experiencing that, stop. Stand up and leave. You don't want to trigger anything. You don't want to contribute to anything that may worsen the situation. Now, you know what? I can't believe that I did that all under 30 minutes or going to be 30 minutes. The first recording that I had was almost an hour too. See, obsession can be a little bit good. So, my need for an outline is a form of an obsession, but it can also do good. And that all depends on how you perceive certain things. In a relationship, if both of you are obsessed with each other, that makes it perfect. Because you're going to create a bubble of protection for each other. You're not going to let each other get into harm's way. But that's in a perfect world. I mean, there are relationships that would exist like that, and not just romantic relationship. But there are relationships that are like that, and you're lucky if you're in one. So now that you know, being the one who's obsessing and being at the receiving end, either way, you can stop it, you can recognize it, and that's the most important thing to do, is to be honest to yourself. Honesty is such a luxury these days that people are also having a hard time being honest within themselves. Honesty had been such a luxury these days. And it wouldn't really make such a point to be talking about these things if we don't recognize that there is something that we have to change. That we have to be honest with ourselves. We're not perfect. And that's how we are. We are human and we would constantly evolve and try to be better. And the only time that we gain knowledge is when we admit that we didn't know that thing, that we didn't know it. Up until this episode, I was very obsessive. But now that I know it, of course, moving forward, I would be able to recognize it. And that's the whole point of the podcast. I'm happy that I'm starting to understand how all of these things are working. And I hope stranger, you're also feeling the same way. This had been a really good talk. I would see you on the next episode, and I would let my little outro do the talking for me. My name is Lee, and thank you for spending time with me today. Oh, yeah, by the way, do participate in our little question if you're listening in Spotify, and we can get connected through Instagram. Look for me, Lilith Star, without the A on the star. I'll see you on the next episode. Hey there, stranger. Do you agree with what we have talked about today? Did you learn anything? Do you have a friend who might need this advice? Hmm, if you agree to all of those, don't miss an episode. Add this to your playlist and send this link to your friend. It was awesome having you today. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Lee, and this is Decapitated Thoughts.